Hello.
Hi, Sean, I believe.
Yes, I'm Sean. How are you?
I'm good. Have a seat.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. So, how are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Did you find coming here to be easy, or was it kind of tricky for you?
It was pretty easy. I just took the highway, so pretty much there's no traffic because I'm traveling east. So I'm coming from Scarborough.
So that's good. That's good.
Thank you, thank you.
So, you came here for a reason. Before we start talking about why you're here, I just have a form I need you to sign. I'll tell you all about it.
Okay.
This is called the Client Acknowledgement Form.
Interesting.
I'm going to summarize it for you, and then you can go read it after.
I appreciate that, thank you.
What it basically says is that I'm here as a student from Durham College.
Okay.
And I'm here as a volunteer, and you're here as a volunteer, so there's no money involved.
That's definitely good.
Yes, it is. We will try to help you resolve your problems as much as we can, but we're not going to guarantee that all your problems will disappear.
Okay.
So there is still that 1% chance.
Okay.
Everything you say here is going to be confidential.
Yes.
It's not going to go to anybody, unless it's like in the program. So my supervisor, if I want to like debrief with like maybe manager or my coworker.
Okay.
If it is subpoenaed into court. So if the court asks for whatever reason that they need some information about you, we will only give them that particular information about you, and also it could go to your benefit as well. So like we could like advocate for you. If there is somebody, a child, who is in an abusive home, so like in a domestic violence, whether the child is getting abused or just witnessing the abuse himself or herself.
Okay.
And lastly, if there is a health practitioner who is abusing a client.
Okay.
So those are the only times where we will give out information or will like break the confidentiality.
Okay.
Do you understand everything?
I do.
So if you can just look it over and sign.
Okay. It's interesting. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay. So, you're sure you're here for a reason?
Yes, I am. I'm just a little bit frustrated, I guess, because of work. And so I've been working at this job for about 8 or 9 years now. And I've put in a lot of time. At one point I worked like full-time nights, but I decided that like that was too much stress on my body kind of thing.
Okay.
I guess apparently, according to my doctor, we need sleep. So, and working nights is not isn't beneficial.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I went back to part-time. Well, I went back to casual, and so I find that I wasn't getting any hours. And people who like hadn't even worked in a year were getting hours over me.
Okay.
And then so now I'm a little bit more frustrated because so I finally got back to part-time, and one of the people went on maternity leave. And so somebody else who has like way less seniority than me got the job instead of me. And it's not like I'm a troublemaker or anything like that, so I'm kind of bothered by that in that sense, because it's like this person has been like cautioned many times for like the statements that have made it like have been disrespectful to the manager. But a lot of people are like, why didn't you get this year maternity leave versus me? Versus
So
me.
what I'm hearing for you is that you were there full time, and then you decided to go for part time because it wasn't really doing well. It wasn't really what you wanted, and it wasn't good for your health.
Yes.
And that was recommended by your doctor.
Yes.
And you're frustrated because people who are not there for as long as you were are getting more hours than you, and you feel that it's not fair. Am I hearing you correctly, Sean?
Yes, you are.
Have you tried to do anything to resolve that problem?
Well, I spoke to Human Resources, and they said really there's nothing you can do about it, because it's up to the manager's decision. but it's still unfair, and a lot of people have seen this and they say it's unfair as well. So it's like, it's not just in my head. And like, again, I've never really made any trouble, but this person has always kind of made trouble for the manager. And I almost think that it has something to do with my race, because this person got the job over me with less seniority, less experience. And so is it like, or is it like because I'm a guy in a female department? It's one of the two, and it just doesn't make sense.
So you feel that also, what's also coming into play is your race or your sex?
Yes.
And have you tried to talk to your manager about what you think the reason is that you don't have those hours?
Well, I think from past experiences, I don't really feel that he listens to me. Like, I feel like you talk to him and it like falls on deaf ears. So it's like, what's the point of talking to this guy? And you don't want to make those accusations right off the bat, because it's like, I guess a lot of the times when you bring up the R word, like, it's like, or like prejudice or something like that, that you get looked at like you're either like super paranoid, or that it's just an excuse and you deserve things, I guess, for no reason.
So you mentioned past experiences. Can you tell me more about that?
Just like certain things where he's called me out for things that he's, well, at first I did speak to him about why I didn't get the job. I did speak to him about that, and I didn't really get a response. I just got a lot of excuses that like I rebutted, and then he didn't really have any, like, they were like unfounded kind of thing. So it was a lot of like, pardon my French, like BS, I guess, from the manager. Like, it didn't really make any sense. So he's giving me constant excuses, and like even the coworkers, like, what are you talking about? This person like constantly defies the manager. But so I just feel like with this, it's kind of like, after speaking to him about it initially that time, I felt like it just kind of fell on deaf ears. So I'm kind of debating on whether or not I should quit this job, or should I keep on doing it, because it doesn't seem like people listen.
So you mentioned that the person who is getting more hours than you is a kind of a troublemaker.
Yes.
Do you feel that that is angering you more than if it was just any other person who was doing the job well?
Well, if it was a person who was deserving, like if I saw the person, I'm like, wow, that person comes in for extra hours, and that person's like more deserving, then I'd be like, yeah, okay. But I think that angers you more when it's like you can't find a rational, like you can't rationalize why that person has gotten that job over you.
So what I'm getting from you is that this is really angering you, and it's making you question whether or not you should stay in the job or not.
Yeah, like I don't really know, should I stay or should I go? It sounds like a song, but it's true.
So, do you want to tell me some of the pros and cons of you staying in the job or leaving the job?
Well, I guess some of the pros would be that the hours are better, because I'm also going back to school, because I was just like fed up with it, and so I'm like, maybe I should go back to school, and so I did, and so it kind of keeps in line with my school, and it pays well, and plus it adds to my pension. That's one of them. So I guess there's a few of them actually.
Was one of the reasons you decided to get a part-time job was because you came to school, or was that decision made before you decided to come back to school?
I had a part-time job before. Like, I had worked this job before, so I've been doing this job 9 years. Like, going to school was like, coming back to school was just a recent thing. But I had been to school for I'd been at that job for like 9 years prior, so it wasn't school that affected my job, like, decision, I guess. But it does keep in line with like my school, so I am able to study and stuff. I just hate it there. Yeah.
So one of the pros would be that the hours are good, and it's also going into your pension plan.
Yes.
And the cons obviously would be that there's not going to be any income going in. Is that right?
That would be one of them, yeah.
Do you have any alternatives for if you want to quit your job?
Well, I have another part-time job, so I can do that. But it's just a matter of, I just really, I don't know. That one isn't so much in keeping with I can only work weekends with that particular job, and it's stressful, and there's not like the ability to do homework because I'm constantly on my feet, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, so basically right now is that you're kind of on the scale of whether you should quit or not because you feel that you're being treated unfairly, whether race or sex is being contributed into that decision of you not getting any hours. And now you're kind of in the, I guess, middle of what you should do.
Yeah. So I'm kind of, it's difficult to decide because it's like, do I go to this job and hate it for another 2 years? Do I try to look for something else and just waste away the 9 years? And it's like 2 of my jobs are in healthcare. So it's like when you have 2 jobs in healthcare, like both of those jobs contribute to your pension. So obviously like thinking about like retirement later on, even though I'm not really near the retirement age, it's like, do I keep this job and endure, or do I move forward and just basically say screw you to the manager kind of thing?
Yeah. Are you by yourself, or do you have anyone that you have to take care of, sort of?
I'm married, but I have a son as well from a previous relationship.
Yeah. How does your family feel about this, your wife or your son?
Well, she's on the base. She's on like the thing where, yeah, we need money and stuff to pay for our bills, but at the same, my son's too old to. First of all, he doesn't even have a job, so I can't really listen to his opinion. But she's in, I guess, she's of the opinion that it doesn't, like, money and stuff doesn't really matter. Like, you should do what you want to do, kind of thing. Like, just do something that makes you happy, and we'll make it work despite the. It's pretty good pay, so despite losing that kind of pay, just do something that benefits you. And then at the same time, I did find another part-time job, but it doesn't pay, like it pays half of what I'm getting at the other place. And it's fun, because it's with the Jays, but it's like, it doesn't pay as well.
Yeah. And your wife's contribution, is it your wife's opinion or what she says, is it contributing into what you're going to want to do?
Oh, it has to. Happy wife, happy life, right? It's you don't really have a decision in that part. I can't really make a decision to be like, I'm not going to consider your opinion. I quit my job today. I'm going to go work for less money someplace else. So yeah, it does play a huge part into making my decision, kind of thing. Otherwise, that's risk for divorce.
So you have your wife's support, so that's a really good thing, and she sounds like she really cares for your happiness, opposed to the money and the financial support that you will be contributing to the relationship.
Yeah, it's true. It's nice to have her support in the thing, and I have my in-laws' support as well.
Yeah.
You know, and my parents' support. So I have a lot of people supporting me to make this decision, but it's like, not to mention too, it's like if I quit, I'm like, am I pulling my weight with the bills and stuff, especially because I decided to make this huge, like, monumental decision, to go back to school in such a, like you wanted to start a family, and then all of a sudden at like the stage, I'm like, hey, let's go back to school. And while she supports me, I know it's like, it's a lot of stress on her, kind of thing.
Do you feel that if you quit your job, you will be stressing her out more, or like pulling her down, or like you would kind of be, I guess, weight on her shoulder?
I do feel like that kind of thing. Like I'm not really used to kind of the old traditions where it's like man provides for the woman. Like my dad was always big on like providing for like my family. Like at one point, like he hitchhiked to work, so it was like, and he had a good job, but he didn't really have a car, so he hitchhiked to work, kind of thing. So being of that kind of thing, it's like I'm traditional, whereas like man goes to work and like pays for the woman, and I was taught by my like mother that like you shouldn't like mooch off women kind of thing. It's wrong, kind of. She always took pride that none of her sons ever were mooches when it came to it. I guess we always pulled our weight and we were hardworking kind of thing.
Yeah. So what I'm getting from you right now is, even though you have your wife's support to quit, you're still kind of hesitant about it because of your tradition and you wanting to be, I guess, the support financially in the relationship to be, I guess, greater or the same as her?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not so much just, it's not like a competition thing. It's more so a matter of just being able to provide for your spouse kind of deal.
Okay. So let's talk about what we can do about, so as a goal for like next time you come here.
Okay.
So now we have, so what does it mean to you to be the provider of the family?
Well, it's a pretty important thing. Like, my dad was big on like taking care of the family, and we were like a single income family when we were kids. So I grew up in a single income family, but you know, he would take like jobs on the side, even though from what I learned now, he made pretty good money, but he would just take jobs on the side, just I guess for the extras kind of thing.
I see. So to summarize, right now, the whole story is that you don't know whether you should stay or go because you want to provide for your family and you want to be like your father in terms of the financial support and how he provided for the family.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's make a plan for next time. Would you want to come next time?
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Okay, so maybe in the next week?
That sounds great.
Okay, so let's make a plan for next time to see what we can achieve till then.
Okay.
You say you have a Jay's job that doesn't pay as well, but it's still good money?
Well, yeah, I've been offered it. So.
So do you have it now, or is it just you're still deciding on whether to take it or not?
I can just let them know whether I want to take it or not.
Okay.
It's up to me kind of thing. I have like a week to decide, so.
So would that be an option for you?
I'm definitely thinking about it. It's going to be a lot more fun. Like, I don't even watch baseball, but it's like the Jays, so it's like a lot of people.
It's a good experience for you?
Well, it's a good experience because I've never really done that. Like, I've always done like different types of security, but I've never really done that type of security, like event security.
Yeah.
And apparently you can do like concerts too and stuff, so that's really cool.
Do you feel that if you take the job, you could take more hours and you could, I guess, in terms, climb up the ladder?
I think it would be like difficult climbing up the ladder. Like, I wouldn't so much, just to, I guess, like, I would be fair with other people kind of thing and be like, you know, like, obviously if they've been there longer than me, even if I'm more experienced than them, I would let them have it over me, just because I'd hate for them to be in that same situation where some guy comes in, like, I guess the same situation that I was put in.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they've worked so hard to get to a certain point, and they've been there every season, and then I just randomly show up and be like, hey, I'm the supervisor, get lost, you know?
Yeah. So, what we can do for next time, and this is just a suggestion, you can obviously choose if you want to do it or if you don't want to do it, is that you could go and talk to the Jays and see how many hours they could provide for you and see if that maybe, if you're willing to accept going for it and quitting your job, or maybe if you wouldn't want to do it because it's still not matching up, or like you still wouldn't get that, I guess, good feeling of providing for your family.
That's true, that sounds good. That sounds like a good plan. Yeah.
So
I think I may embrace that plan.
Okay.
All right.
That's really good. I'm glad to hear that. So, it's nice meeting you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.